The Mandalorian Season 2 finale airs tomorrow. Tomorrow is... tomorrow. With that in mind, we're gonna watch from Star Wars Theory. Palpatine took Grogu, or as we like to call him, Yoda 2.
Yoda also.
During Order 66. Fun opening, huh? Yay, fun openings. I bet they're gonna hold off till Season 3.
They're gonna tease us with something.
On giving us the answer on who took Grogu away from Order 66. I bet they're gonna hold off on that. You Disney bastards.
Such teases you are.
No, it's such teases you are.
Teases you are.
No. Such teases.
Oh, okay, so you mean such teases.
No.
Really?
Stupid fat hobbits and stupid fat hobbits. Oh, very good, very good. That's a good Yoda.
You're a good coach.
During The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, Ahsoka mentions that Grogu's memory grows dark and faint after he was hidden at the end of the Clone Wars, aka Order 66. He was raised at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Many masters trained him over the years. At the end of the Clone Wars, he was hidden. Someone took him from the temple, then his memory becomes dark. Now, before we begin,
Gotcha.
we could say, well, some Jedi took him and mind-wiped him to keep him safe so he didn't know how to use the Force.
Just some Jedi.
Some rando Jedi.
My own theories, so I want to explain my Palpatine theory, and you can decide if it makes sense or not at the end. So my next theory here, after the Anakin one I did recently, is that perhaps Sidious took him. This would make sense since Sidious was at the Jedi Temple after Anakin raided it with the 501st. You might be confused. Well, a lot of people miss this detail, but we can actually see Sidious in the Jedi Temple as Anakin kneels before him, calling him his master. Obi-Wan is watching the security recordings from the temple when this happens.
Okay.
If this was in Palpatine's office, which is not in the temple, then it wouldn't make sense for Kenobi to be able to see this.
Welcome to my office.
My secretary will let you in.
Could have taken Grogu, as Anakin will leave and Sidious will be in the temple without him. You'll see. And mind you, this is starting when Obi-Wan is witnessing Anakin killing the Jedi during the hologram. And I should mention also that the book is a lot more descriptive of the things Anakin does to the Jedi with the 501st. Then the caped man turned to meet a cloaked figure behind him.
Like what?
It was Obi-Wan. Stanley wished he had the strength to rip his eyes out of his head, but even blind, he would see this forever. He would see his friend, his student, his brother, turn and kneel in front of a black-cloaked Lord of the Sith. His head rang with a silent scream.
That's
The
powerful.
traitors have
Yeah.
been destroyed.
It's a well-written
Lord
theory.
Sidious, and the archives are secured. Our ocean holocrons are again.
What a great Hayden Christensen impression.
Together, we shall master every secret of the Force. The Sith Lord purred with a contented rancor. You have done well, my new apprentice. Do you feel your power growing? Yes.
Feel
my
that power
master,
growing?
Lord Vader, your skills are unmatched by any Sith before you. Go forth, my boy. Go forth and bring peace to our empire.
What is this, Baby Yoda?
Star Wars episode page 47408 by Random House Publishing Group. Sidious sends Anakin away to Mustafar, as we can see. This is right before Anakin goes to stop by Padme's place before blasting off to Mustafar to officially end the Clone Wars by having Newt Gunray deactivate all the droids across the galaxy. So when Anakin is here with Padme, Sidious is at the temple. And it's this time gap that I'm thinking where we never see could allow Sidious to search for any hiding Jedi who survived. Palpatine, perhaps, senses Grogu. Now, how does he know about Grogu? Well, my answer is Dooku. Dooku was a Jedi Master who left the temple after decades of being there since he was a small boy. And who is old enough to know Dooku? Possibly to even be trained by him? Grogu. Palpatine
Trained by him, eh?
And in the Revenge of the Sith novel, the plan was for Dooku and Anakin to be alive and serve him. To which, of course, we know what happened there with Dooku.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I believe Dooku would have told Sidious all about Grogu and how he was immensely powerful, just like his father, Yoda. If that is his father at all, and I'm just saying that to make the story more dramatic. Sidious had a personal
You're probably, we're all probably right.
So to take his child would be sweeter than killing him. Imagine turning his
Yeah,
son into a
dude.
Sith Lord, or harvesting
What a
Yoda's
painful
genes
revenge.
and force powers for his own twisted Frankenstein abominations. Operation Resurrection, perhaps. Palpatine would
Operation
go after the Force user.
Resurrection.
Remember, he needed a being with very high midichlorians in their blood, a high M count. Anakin shaved some of his power off once he lost to Obi-Wan, and this is what George Lucas has always said, that Darth Vader only became 80% as powerful as the Emperor once he lost on Mustafar. Grogu is around the same age as Anakin, so he would have been about 20 years old during Revenge of the Sith, and his Force powers were far more powerful than what we see in The Mandalorian. He had to subdue his powers as to not be found by the Empire. Now, whether he subdued them himself, or someone turned his memory dark so that he wouldn't remember how to use his powers, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So what I'm thinking is, he was...
But how did he get away? How did he get away?
Sidious, and maybe sent to Kamino to be an experiment and to learn from. And there, during the next 35 or so years, until we see him in the Mando, he perhaps escaped, and then came under the custody of the remnants of the Empire. Now, Sidious's clone in Episode 9 looks to be about 30 years old here. Rey was born in 15 ABY. That's 5 years after The Mandalorian, just about. So this would mean if he was put on Jakku around the age of maybe 6, meaning 21 ABY, then Palpatine's clone son, Rey's dad, was born about 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay,
This means
I'm following in.
Sidious was trying to clone himself for quite some time and trying to experiment with different ways to put the Force inside a new body. This could give life to my theory that Palpatine did indeed take Grogu from the temple. The only other option is that he traveled with a Jedi who survived and escaped, maybe like Ser Junda from Fallen Order, and the Inquisitors intercepted her, took the child, and put him in the possession of the Empire. Personally, I like the Palpatine theory. If he did take him, he'd just run tests on him as much as he could, perhaps keeping Grogu alive so that his body would
Imagine
grow,
the potential.
allowing the Empire to harvest more of his blood as it grew. Perhaps this is why they didn't just kill him off. They needed more of his blood, and they knew his blood had the perfect high M count, but there just wasn't enough of it for more trials, so they need him to get bigger. They tried with other things as much as they could, I'm thinking, but they ultimately knew that if they killed the child, they wouldn't find any other entity with as high of a Force power in their blood. This is why he couldn't just take any random Jedi and use them. This actually could be all plausible. Or, you know, Grogu went wandering...
I think I'm actually pretty good at
That
this.
sounds like he's discovering he's going off script now.
Check out this.
Damn, this is good. What?
Believe in yourself.
Did someone wipe it clean? Did Sidious wipe it clean and just let him go free in the galaxy until he was found again? Or did a Jedi do that? What were they protecting? Information Grogu knew, or Grogu
Information
himself? So, did Palpatine take Grogu to train him or to drain his blood for his experiments in his search for immortality? And
Or
keep in mind,
both.
his master, Darth Plagueis, always said essence transfer was super lame. He said it wasn't true immortality. Anyways,
It was the worst Star Wars book. The worst dialogue.
Super lame, bro. Don't even try.
Remember, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, the Force will be with you always.
You know, it would be really cool if Palpatine did take him. It'd be
It would
that'd
be
awesome.
a pretty heavy, heartbreaking reveal, and it would have a lot of sinister
I
implications.
think it
for
would tie in
sure.
very well, especially with that episode where they do discover the clones for the first time. The Carl Weathers directed episode.
Yeah, where they have like the laboratory and you see all the
Yeah,
floating
yeah.
experiments.
So it would work, and I think it would tie in nicely, especially since a lot of the theories started emerging that, oh my God, this looks like it's going to be tying into the Disney sequel trilogy with Palpatine finding out that he was cloned and how we got there, looked like Snoke, yada yada yada. So in some ways, I actually really do love the idea of Palpatine discovering him. But my mind is telling me that how Palpatine really found him was Palpatine went to go take a shit.
Yep, definitely.
And he opened the door and he was like,
Is anyone in here? No. Finally, some privacy.
then he went to poop. And then when he sat down, whipped out the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Wookiee
Erotica magazine brought to you by Giant Panda King.
And he was just reading it. And then he heard something. And then he looked down, and then there was little Yoda going to who we thought was Chancellor Palpatine.
In the bathroom, all the best places to come up and confront somebody.
Freaking Master Anakin is murdering us.
You gotta do something.
Oh, what the hell are you? I'm trying to get some quiet time.
Couldn't you have waited? They're stuck together because of how awkward of a situation that was.
I'm just trying to earn a collab with Star Wars Theory.
No, yeah. We can come up with a good enough theory right
Insane.
here, right now, to get on that channel and pitch it properly.
What is more realistic?
Yeah, if you got caught in a compromising position, you know, you're a chancellor, you're also a dark lord. Like, you don't want to be embarrassed like that and have your leadership undermined
just saying.
by human biology, you know?
I just want everyone to know this type of lowbrow comedy / commentary is not an accurate representation of how we cover the Mandalorian.
This poop joke is not canon to the rest of our commentary.
Just want to make that clear. All the people who watched episodes 1 through 7 were like, I don't think I'm going to watch that finale with them anymore.
It's all gonna be about Palpatine.
I got a question though. I mean, I really like the theory. It all makes sense. It all lines up. And I actually prefer that over the Anakin one. It just feels a lot more sinister and a lot more why he might be more frightened and fearful. I mean, yeah, I think it'd have the same effect if it was freaking Anakin Skywalker. But Palpatine is much more of a menacing presence, in my opinion. Anakin was still Anakin. He wasn't the fully formed Darth Vader, according to the theory, of if he did take Grogu. Whereas Palpatine, I mean, just look at him.
Yeah.
If he didn't have powers, you'd be like, get away from me.
Yeah,
You know?
it seems well within his long game. And then, yeah, like the idea that he would then harvest these younglings, Grogu being among them, take them to some facility, and then, you know, there's still an element of mystery there as to how Grogu could have gotten out of that facility. But, you know, if you think again about what we've seen across other installments, both in The Mandalorian and in the sequels, would certainly go to expand on the theory of these experiments in, you know, harvesting and transferring midichlorians and whatnot. It's fun because it leaves you more room to speculate as to how he escaped, you know, from that scenario.
I love all the theories I've been hearing, and they all sound plausible. I gotta point something out though of why I have a hard time sometimes believing these theories. And I mean this sincerely. Okay, you know what you never see Grogu do?
What's that?
I'll show you. All you see this guy do is
Yeah, he like crawls. It's clear that his size is inhibiting.
like, I'm saying that they have these thoughts about him escaping, getting away. Like, this guy never moves. So what makes me fascinated is, you know, he's 50 years old. They're talking about all the training he had and how he had to repress the Force and all that. We don't know much about this little guy's race. Do you guys get where I'm going with this?
But how?
Why is he? When he repressed the Force, did it also like make him a baby again?
Yeah, I get you. It's like, is in repressing his Force ability, like, would it be that in the past, when he was 20 years old or whatever on this theory's timeline, would he have been flipping around and jumping and stuff like we've seen Yoda do at certain points? Or would, he be a baby?
That's why when I was watching this video, I had one note. You guys can't see it says, still a baby. That's all it says.
Yeah, and it seems like 50 is a pretty young age for this species race.
Like, I get it if you're like, oh no, they age slowly in this species race is a baby, but they're talking about how, oh, but no, he was on Coruscant and he was, you know, becoming a Jedi. He was a Padawan, and I'm like, oh, we need him in the men.
Kids can be
he
prodigies.
escaped from Camino.
But that doesn't, necessarily mean they have adult physiological ability.
I need to Benjamin Button myself in order to really hide from the dark side, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if he was broken out of a testing facility, somebody else would have been responsible.
It's more likely someone took him away than it is. So, yeah.
I feel like in all scenarios, someone else is moving him.
Regardless, I think in terms of the one I'd want to see is Cal Kestis. That's the one I'd want to see. At least when they talk about meeting the Jedi after Ahsoka gives directions directions, you know, pulls up her Google Maps and all that. So after Ahsoka gives directions, meeting that Jedi, I would like that to be Cal Kestis. Whereas in terms of who took Grogu from Order 66, I think it would be interesting to bring Palpatine to the show. Probably be my favorite one to go down. Either way, whatever the show does, I'm usually like,
Well, because it's a twist to be sinister, you know.
it's a twist to be sinister. Well, Mandalorian Season 2 finale comes out tomorrow. You best bet we'll be stressing about making sure to get it out Saturday morning because everyone else gets theirs up on Friday. But we're like, let them do their thing. Let's make it more challenging for hours to get. So, okay, yeah, let's go with that mentality. Subscribe, click that notification bell, hit the like button. Thank you, Star Wars Theory. I love your channel. You kill it, man. Please let us go on there, pitch more bathroom ideas for the Star Wars universe. What do their toilets look like? Last but not least, the Rogue 808 JT. JT, my God. I would take you away to a galaxy far, far away. Show you the stars, JT, because you've been one of our most loyal patronajects since the dawn of time. Oh, yeah. Since before we even had a Patreon page, you have been pledged to our channel. And I just really appreciate you a lot. What I did for Christmas, we got a tree. We got a tree. And then we got a train track. That took me 2 hours to assemble. It says ages 3+. What a bunch of bullshit. And what I did was I made little JT models. Little JT models. And I put it on the train. He's our little train conductor. You're my little train conductor. Going around in a circle around our tree. It's a little J tree is what I call it. J tree. You're my Christmas tree. You're my J tree.
You're the good luck charm. You're the spirit of the holidays, JT. You're bringing love to everybody. Choo choo, coming around the bend. Who's that JT with a coal bushel full of gifts and love?
You're so full of love. I want to lick you.
Oh yeah, lick you. Just like touch you and fondle you and stuff. Poke you.
Too far.
I mean, is it?
No.
Not when it's JT. The 808 who's gone rogue in my heart. Improv.